All right, here's our last topic for the chemistry of life. We are going to look at chemical reactions and something what we call enzymes. Okay, so when we go and eat food, where does all the food go? So our body, we've talked about, already breaks down our food through hydrolysis in order for us to get it into our cells. All right, so that's a chemical reaction that happens. So you take two reactants and make a product, or you can take a product of something else and break it down. All right, for example, when you eat glucose, okay, anything with sugar in it, whatever, if you take that and add oxygen, which your body has plenty of, it'll undergo a reaction to get some energy out of it. So that's how we get energy out of food. And it also gives off some water and some carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is a chemical reaction where bonds are being broken in this glucose and rearranged to make water and carbon dioxide. Okay, so we never lose atoms, we just rearrange them into different compounds. All right, most reactions that would happen in our body would take a lot of time. All right, because they take so much energy in order for these to happen. So if you thought about us needing to break down every single thing we made and ate, it would take way, way, way longer than it should. All right, this energy that it needs to happen in order for the reaction to happen is what we call activation energy. Okay, so we have this thing called an enzyme. Right? We've talked about proteins before, so enzymes are actually proteins. So that means, because amino acids are the monomers of proteins, that a protein or an enzyme is a long chain of amino acids. All right? Now, this chain, if you see this chain over here, this long thing, this can actually be either in this form or in this folded form. So this folded form is actually what a protein or an enzyme looks like. Okay, we want to keep it like this so it works well. However, proteins are really, really picky. They can be what we call denatured or broken down. So they go from this folded state to this long chain of amino acids. All right, this does not help us do any reactions at all. Okay, so temperature can affect that. Electricity can affect that. A change in pH. Remember we said that pH levels in our body, depending on where you are, most of the time want to be around 7. All right, so if it goes too far away from that, this could happen, and then we can't use our enzymes or proteins the way we need them to. All right, salinity can also have an effect, and there's some few other things. Okay, so what does an enzyme look like? An enzyme, if you look over here, has a couple different parts to it. Right? This is the enzyme itself. So this kind of looks like a little Pac-Man with a funky mouth. All right? It has what we call an active site. This is where that chemical reaction is going to happen. Okay? Enzymes help us do chemical reactions. And what they do is they work on things. So what we call a substrate. This is a molecule that the enzyme acts upon. All right? Now if you notice, this substrate and this little active site area of our enzyme, look how they nice fit together. Okay, they look like a puzzle or a lock and key. So if you ever heard, enzymes are usually called a lock and key model because this would be the lock and this would be the key that goes into it. Okay, so we call this an enzyme substrate complex or the lock and key model. The one specific thing about enzymes is that they are substrate specific. Right? Their active site is only going to match up with other substrates that match right into that. One little thing that's off and it's not going to work on that substrate. Okay, so why do we care about enzymes in our body? Enzymes are what we call a catalyst. Okay, so a catalyst means something pushes something along or makes something happen quicker. Okay, so enzymes actually make chemical reactions happen way quicker than they normally would. So when I just said that they take forever, then with an enzyme, if you look right here, we have a lot less energy that needs to go in order for this reaction to happen. Okay, so biological catalyst, So a catalyst makes the thing go faster, so it lowers the amount of energy that you need to get that reaction started. So instead of being all the way up here, you're halfway. Right? So this first amount of energy in order for the reaction to happen is called our energy of activation. So enzymes lower that energy of activation so that we can make these reactions go quicker and we can actually get the energy from our food better. All right, so the last couple little things about enzymes. Enzymes are not used up. Okay, so as long as they stay in their correct shape, we can keep using them over and over and over. So our body keeps all these enzymes around and they don't go away. Okay, so if we have something come into that area that needs to be broken down, we already have the enzymes there that need to be there. All right, the one way you can always tell if something is an enzyme, it ends in the ending ASE. All right, so have you ever heard of lactase? All right, this is an enzyme because it ends in that ASE that breaks down the sugar lactose into two smaller sugars. So it's breaking that polymer down into monomers. All right, so lactose intolerance usually is due to a lack of or no presence of a lactase enzyme at all in somebody's body. Okay, so these enzymes are really, really important. All right, so that's our last thing on the chemistry of life. So we've had enzymes, characteristics of water, and macromolecules. And we will have a test coming up very soon.